Okay, here we're going to solve the equation sine 2x equals rad 2 over 2. So this is how we're going to do this is, first of all, I'm going to say let theta equals 2x. You don't really have to do this. And then we're going to solve sine of theta equals rad 2 over 2. Okay, so if I bust out the unit circle, then I think we should be able to figure out what this is, what the answer is. All right, sine theta is the y coordinate, but also maybe we just memorize that this is rad 2 over 2 is over here, and that's going to go with pi over 4. And then we can also, though, have the same reference angle of pi over 4. But now we're in quadrant 2. Because sine is positive in quadrant 2. And that's going to give us 3/4 pi. You can fill in the x-coordinate, but it's not really at all necessary. So what we get is that theta is equal to pi over 4, and then we're going to add plus 2k pi. That actually gives us all solutions. Theta equals 3/4 pi plus 2k pi. It seems like that's not necessary to do the plus 2k pi, one might think, because we're only going between 0 and 2 pi, but we have to do that actually for this problem, and we'll see why in a moment. So 2x is equal to pi over 4 plus 2k pi, and 2x is equal to 3/4 pi plus 2k pi, and of course we're trying to find out what pi is, or I mean what x is. So we multiply by 1/2 on both sides, and this is where it becomes essential that I have the plus 2k pi, because I need to, well, let's see why. I multiply 1/2 and I get pi over 8, and the key is 1/2 times 2k pi. 2k pi is just k pi. And then over here, same sort of thing. So the reason I had to do this plus 2k pi is because my answers are not just pi over 8 and 3/8 pi. Now k is in the set of integers. And in fact, just to really, why not just go all the way out with math formulas, we write it like this. Okay, now when k is equal to 0, I get x equals just pi over 8, and x equals 3/8 pi. Well, I mean, what if I put -1? Well, the problem is pi over 8 plus -1 times pi would not be in the interval 0 to 2 pi. That number would be less than 0. So if I put k as -1, I'll get a value for x less than 0, and that's not what we want. And then if I try k equals 1, I'm going to get pi over 8 plus pi, which is, well, it's a little bit of trouble because I have to get a common denominator. So, and I did it wrong right there. Okay, there I got it right. All right. And then over here, x equals 3/8 pi plus pi, which is going to equal 3/8 plus 8/8 pi. So x will equal 11/8 pi. Note, k equals 2 gives values outside of the interval from 0 to 2 pi. So if you put in k as 2, you're going to get pi over 8 plus 2 pi, and that's outside of the interval. So these are my answers. Those are the answers right there. And that's how we get all of them. And so let's go ahead and put that in a nice little solution set formula format. So the answers are going to be pi over 8, 3/8 pi, 9/8 pi, and 11/8 pi. Okay, let's zoom out a little bit. So that's the answer to that, and hope so. I think it is. So yeah, there we go. Definitely pi over 3/8 plus 8/8. Yeah, looks good. Okay, that's all.